How y'all doing out there? Let me tell you, if you are a fan of mac and cheese and crawfish, this video is for you because we're going to get into this good old creamy crawfish mac and cheese. Let's get started. I went on in with my favorite brand of pasta. Go ahead and cook it to your liking. Al dente is what I did. I like to add a little bit of salt and oil to my water. Now we're going to go ahead with our grated cheese. I used pepper jack, Gouda, sharp, and medium. If you can get smoked Gouda, that's even better. But you also want to get you some mozzarella. And let me remind you, we're using 8 ounces of each cheese as well as an 8-ounce packet of Velveeta cheese. You want to use that later on. We'll get to that in a minute. And our pasta noodles, I like to add a little bit of oil. Then we're going to go in with a half a teaspoon of chicken bouillon. I like to add a tablespoon of dried parsley. We're going to mix that on in. Now I went on and chopped up some red pepper, onion, and a little bit of jalapeno pepper. Let's take a quick look at those crawfish. Now I did some butter in the pan. Then we're going to go in with some fresh garlic. If you have shallots, that work as well. Then we're going to go ahead and add the crawfish and let that simmer for about 4 to 5 minutes. And then guess what? Let's go ahead and hit it with that good old C-licious. Thank you to everyone that supports the brand. Shop pickaplate.com. We're making my grandma Emily proud. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and add the seasoning to the crawfish. And then bam, look at that. It's already starting to smell so good in here, especially if you're a seafood lover. Now we're going to go ahead and empty every crawfish out of the pot. Use the broth and we're going to make a roux. All we're going to do is a tablespoon of flour. We're going to mix that on in. On medium-low heat, we're going to do this for about 5 minutes. Be careful not to burn your roux. Then we're going to go in with a cup of heavy cream, as well as a cup of evaporated milk. Then we're going to go ahead and blend that on in. Okay, you know it's variations on how to make mac and cheese, but this is the easiest way that I made the crawfish one. Now, when it comes to adding the Velveeta cheese, I like to break it up in separate parts. That way it will melt easier. You want to be on medium-low. Keep an eye on it. You do not want to burn your cheese mixture. This is the base of the dish. Now we're going to go in with a half a teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and smoked paprika. You can reserve some seasonings for a little bit later if you need to adjust them. Now let's go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of sour cream and a whole tablespoon of cream cheese. We're still on medium-low. Go ahead and mix that in. Now while this is simmering down, I went on and adjusted my seasonings with a little bit more of cayenne pepper, dried parsley, unsalted butter. Then I went in and added those good old diced peppers. We're going to let that simmer down on medium-low. Be very careful. You do not want your cheese sauce to burn because we want it to look as silky smooth as this. Now let's go ahead and do an egg mixture. Yes, I do like to do egg in my mac and cheese. Now let's go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of dry mustard as well as a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Go ahead and mix that in. Then we're going to add that to your elbow noodles. Blend that in. Now let's go ahead and start adding our shredded cheese to the elbow noodles. Now I'm going in with about 2 cups of the shredded cheese. You'll use the rest later. Now we're adding our crawfish and that good old silky smooth cheese sauce. Look at that. Let's go ahead and blend that on in. Now remember, you do not have to use crawfish. You can do crab meat, shrimp, or anything you like. But we're going to go ahead and start building those layers. Just like that. You want to put a bottom layer. Then we're going to go ahead and add some of that good old shredded cheese. Now, while we go ahead and build our layers, you may want to turn your oven on and preheat it at 375. Now we're going to go ahead and add our second layer. Now we're just going to layer some more of that good old shredded cheese. Then I like to add some paprika and some more of that good old dried parsley. That gives you that good old golden crust on the top. I baked this at 375 for 35 minutes, covered. Then you can go ahead and do another 10 to 12 minutes on low boil, just so you can get that good old golden crust. Now I wanted to share a fun fact with you about crawfish. Did you know that Louisiana supplies 90% of the crawfish consumed in the United States? Crawfish walk forward and swim backwards. I was like, oh, okay. And crawfish are a close relative of Maine lobster, which is why they taste so good with butter. And baby, let me tell you, it's one of my favorites. Crawfish are also called crawdads, crayfish, and mud bugs. Crawfish are freshwater crustaceans. Most crawfish are harvested between December and June, but March, April, and May are the peak months when Louisiana supplies are greatest and quality is best. And baby, let me tell you, I love crawfish and I can eat it all year long. I hope you enjoy this recipe because you know it's good. Real good. Like that good. Mm-hmm. Look at that cheese pull. Hopefully you share with your family, friends, and neighbors. Hit the subscribe button and follow Cooking Girl along her journey.